This is my tutorial video on how to play the song Never Dim by The Waiting. I guess in terms of the skill level you're going to need for this, it's probably a beginner to intermediate song. At least most of the way I play songs is a beginner to intermediate way, because lead guitar is still something I have to work out and do some more scales and things to really learn. So I'm going to play it. I want to eventually do a video with me on the 5th fret capoed, playing the chords, which is the way I did it when I played it with the church band. I had a 12-string guitar at the time, and that sounded really great, and I think it sounded like what is going on the record. And at the very end of the song, you can kind of hear somebody doing something like this, like the very ending riff of that song. But I'm going to keep it easy for today, because I'm going to have to practice that, because it's obviously rusty. Just trying to, the last couple takes I just tried to make of that. So but anyway, here's a nice easy, strummy campfire version that you can bring to your church band and just do your strummy campfire thing while everybody else is playing the electric guitar riff and the bass guitar and the drums and all that, to make it what it was, more what it was on the record. And bring your 12-string too. Alright, so anyway, here we go. The first chords for the intro are G, C, G, C, and G one more time. And then we'll go right out, and I'll go ahead and go from the intro right into the verse. Then I'll stop there, and we'll go backtrack a little if we need to, which we will, because there'll be some new chords to talk about. Anyway, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I tried to hum the verse and it came out wrong because I'm trying to do multiple things at once and my brain's freaking out. Okay, so there was your intro. Then the words came in, and we did GC a lot, and then we did a D and an E minor at the more irate words. Where's the more irate? And you can do the quote-unquote love song for a savior and standard tuning method that I do. So you can do the that's on the D, starting at the 3rd fret. D to the A, and then ending on the G. Or you could hold the G down the whole time and get that harmony in there. So there's your riff for your electric guitar lead player to bounce around on. There's that. So there's a couple ways with the open, or with your fingering and all the muting. You haven't learned, if you haven't watched my Love Song for a Savior video, go do that. It'll be good practice for this one. Okay, verse 2. Shepherd Stabs is more irate. More irate. Stems are crooked, leading every crooked way. All the sheep lock their door, yeah, they're pulling down their shades. Faithful looking in to in the first chorus. I think. Mostly. I'm losing track here, I'm sorry. And then we have a verse 3, which the verse progression chords are the same for that too. So we're not doing anything new yet. I'll go on to verse 3. Feel the sunset, think I smell the death of day. Okay, let me get that right. People laughing at a funeral, people dancing and awake, and all the seasons blend together, disperse and feathers every day. Whoops, I screwed the chord up. Every day I look in you, your eyes are clear and bright. I see your face and send me sight. Your glory, Lord, is still burning bright. Find that all our faithless hands can never do. Everybody's tired, scared, and believe that you have yet to break the spell. You're not afraid, you're not afraid, you're not afraid. In the sunset, think I feel the lift of day. The steps are crooked, leading every crooked way. Okay, I screwed that up a little bit on that verse 4. I played through the bridge. The last chord of your third chorus. No, your second chorus being an A minor instead of a G. We're doing an A minor. Okay. Like that all our faithless hands could never do. Okay, that was a really crappy version of the solo. You know, somebody who actually knows what they're doing. Might have stayed there and kept it. The idea of soloing is to make it as simple as possible. So learn what the other strings are doing, so you're not like all over the place when you're doing it. You can just kind of stay there and do it. And I would go for simplicity when it comes to solos. That's going to be my approach when I finally learn how. Anyway, yeah, so what do we do? What do we do with the bridge? We had A minors and E minors, and a C, and then an F chord that before we went into the solo, which in the solo we're playing the G, C, G, C, G, C, G, C, G. And your solo person's really going to let you know when that's supposed to stop, unless you are by yourself and you have to take the time to think about how many times you've played that to keep it on par with the recording. And then there's another verse. It's kind of half spoken, and then he sort of lets his voice come up. And let me do that correctly the way that he did it. Think I smell the sunset, think I feel the close of day. Shepherd's staffs are crooked, leading every crooked way. Think I look in your eyes, I'm terrified. I see your face and amazing sight. Don't go me, Lord, it's still a burning light. Like that all our faith is under I apologize for the roughness here. Didn't quite 100% smooth out the bumps in my own playing before I recorded the video. Not always the best policy, but anyway. So yeah, there it is, from beginning to end. My video alone is not the thing to depend on. You really need to hear and know the recording to really play it more correctly. My video will just get you started on doing that, but let the end all be all is when you're playing along with the record, to really get it smooth and right. Hopefully I gave you enough to go on to get you started there. But again, I have charts for this. I make my own charts, and you can see what they look like. And they're much less bumpy than my playing of the actual song goes. I try to, like I said, when I chart things, especially songs that, my band doesn't know these songs. This is songs I grew up with in the 90s, so, they grew up with like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and maybe some of the 80s. I think we played, we've covered Phil Collins songs before and stuff. We've, gone back to there. But this is, my 30-something fellow 30-somethings out there who remember these songs and like them, and maybe just need to be reminded that they're still out there to be heard. All the waiting stuff, as far as I can tell, is all on YouTube. So if you want to hear it all again, without cost, you can do that. Or Spotify. I know Spotify has them and all that. So they're all there to be found and heard again. As much as the modern stuff out there is good too, it all has a place somewhere in our hearts, I hope. And so anyway, thanks for paying attention again, and we'll see you next time.